button. I say, yo, what up? How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good.
That is
pretty good.
Good to hear. It looks like we are taking a look at your awesome Air Jiro deck.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, so hit me with the element pitch. What's going on with Air Jiro? While you do that, I'm gonna go and snag some stuff from whatever and put it in your sideboard.
Okay. So basically, with this deck, my whole thing is like, my goal is to make your checks as hard as possible, while also making my checks almost like guaranteed to pass, and only needing to commit like 1, maybe 2 foundations or pass my checks to string a little bit with an attack string.
Right. Okay, I dig it. So what do you think is like the highest impact card that you play, attack wise? What do you think?
I'll say there are 2 that I think are pretty big. One being, of course, Specialized Soundwaves for like big card.
Yeah.
And then
Card's
Double Jab Pummel.
And Double Jab. I agree completely. I think those cards are very, very good in this character. How about foundation wise? What do you like? What do you not like about the foundations?
I'd say I really do like having Special Sound, obviously, because of the negating speed whenever I really want to attack as a response if I don't commit it. Or if I commit it, I mean. And then also, I think another really important one for really stringing along early, usually, is First Day of Class.
Okay.
I really, really like in this deck. And then another one that's kind of like, again, it's just a good card in general is Lane Skill. That's really good for cycling if you need to.
Huh. Okay. Okay. I like Lane Skill a lot. I am nervous about its life. As sets go on.
Yeah.
I'm pulling out some options we get to talk about. And so I'm just making sure that I know what I got going on. Huh. I'm bummed I have to do my job correctly and tell you to put this card in your deck.
Yeah, I played this deck earlier today against some of my friends, and it felt really good.
Yeah, that's Jiro. I think she's exceptionally good. So let's chat about some cards. First and foremost, I noticed that you don't have Zero Gravity Lift in your deck at all.
Yes. So I thought about putting that card into the deck. And I guess I didn't really know what to either kind of reduce or get rid of for it, because a lot of my cards, like the 4 Double Jabs and 4 Specialized, are like, I feel like a core to have in this deck. Like Pillar Swing, I could get rid of, I feel like, for it. The one thing I do like about Pillar Swing is that I can just, even if they block, I get that added to my momentum guaranteed. Right. So that's really nice. So when I go into like an Unwavering Slash later on in the string, or like later in the game, I can use that card's powerful 2 rating really well.
Right.
Or even use my Specialized Sound Waves, discard, remove 1 momentum, and then allow me to look at your discard and like really mess up your checks, or look at mine and get myself like 2 Arrogant Dispositions at the top of my deck.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think the obvious cut is just long lasting, right? Your deck doesn't need more stats. That's not what your character covers, all the stats in the world. Yeah. And so just like, let's just get rid of long lasting altogether and put in Zero Gravity Lift. Okay. I'll tell you this. This is the most frustrating card in her deck. Every single time that I have played against Jiro in any event that has mattered even a little bit, either like locals or whatever, the only way that I die is somebody plays Zero Gravity Lift as the 3rd card. It gets to 9 damage, and then they plus ultra it, and I just I'm at 9, so I just lose. I don't have throw hate to deal with it, and so this card just beats me, and it's very, very frustrating.
Yeah, I plan on taking this deck to Orlando.
Ooh, I'll see you there.
Yep.
And then from there, I like Double Jab Pummel, but I think it actually should probably be a 3 of. And I want to put Zero Grav up to 4. This card's just not fair, my guy. It's so not fair. And so the other attacks we get to look at is Airstream Driver. This card is really messed up inside of Jiro because it gets so big. And because you are forced to block Jiro, you just have to respect this card. You just have to. And so this
That's
card,
what I really wanted to add. I wanted to add that to my deck really badly. So that
yeah.
shows I don't have any of that card.
Oh, you just don't have it? What
I
card?
don't have it. That's the really downside. I was like, like that card. I was like, maybe I can get one from a friend or two, but like I just don't know if anyone has one. Like I can get one obviously from TCG, but again, timing. I don't know if I can get one in the time I needed to. You know?
Unfunstuff.com. Do you?
Oh yes, I do have used it before, and I think it was a week or two of time right now, but I can check again.
I think he's going to Orlando. I think if you order it and we're like, yo, I'm going to Orlando. He's based out of Florida. There's no reason for him not to.
Okay.
And then just let him know. Use code TamCard. Get 5% off your order. Just letting you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Zero Gravity Barrier though. I think this card is one of the neatest one-ofs in the entire deck. I was playing against an Orlando local, and he played as Jiro, and then he slammed this as his second card and gave it 2 damage and then flipped the speed, and so it was an 8-low for 3. And then it sat in his momentum and said that I wasn't allowed to use Midoriya's ability anymore. I was playing against as Midoriya 1-dot, and it's enhanced momentum, remove discard of momentum. After your rival's attack, add your rival's attack to the momentum, they may draw a card. It just it's over. They just can't do anything. This card is exceptionally good. It might just have been in the sideboard, but like I want this in my Jiro decks as it's the only defense that I need. Oh, I'm going to die. I'll panic and get rid of my Zero Gravity Barrier. I feel fine.
Okay.
And then lastly, Amplified Sound Blast and Indiscriminate Shock. They're the low zone moves. We're not playing any low zones currently.
Yeah.
This one you don't have an enhanced step. It just gets big. And this one gets absolutely massive, but you have enhances to fight.
Yep.
Like playing Zero Gravity Lift into Double Jab Pummel into Indiscriminate Shock is like an insane combo. It's just like, it's just so much.
You guaranteed to pass it almost. You're basically pretty much guaranteed to pass Indiscriminate. Like, to get the check.
Yep. Yeah, it's incredibly good. I think the biggest issue with Air Jiro right now is she actually has too many good moves she wants to play.
Yeah.
Too many good attacks. It's silly.
That's what I ran into. I was like, what do I not play? Like, I want to play it all.
Yeah, I think Pillar Swing is taking up our 2 low block slot. So if you like the momentum snap of Pillar Swing more than you like the idea of like blowing somebody out as a kill condition with Indiscriminate as your third move, I think that's okay. I think that's totally fine. Because like the other thing is playing an attack, playing Double Jab Pummel, playing Pillar Swing on a 6 essentially because of +2 to your check is also a great exchange rate. It also feels very good. And so like I think that there's like a lot of, it really is personal preference at that point.
Yep.
I just wanted to put these in the sideboard so that like as you are testing for this last week, you've got these as options of things that you can do. If you do feel like you're missing your 4th Double Jab Pummel, like you care about that card that much, just drop Zero Gravity Lift back down to a 3 of, and then increase this back up to 4.
Okay.
My personal opinion is I just always fucking lose to Zero Gravity Lift. It's so lame.
Yeah, because like I love the like Double Jab Pummel. Like when I was playing it today, like at one point I drew 3 of them.
Okay.
And I just laid out 3 of them in a row, and they just couldn't do anything.
Yeah, of course not. You drew triple Double Jab Pummel in Jiro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not impressive. You could murder God with that hand.
Yeah, just like, what do you do?
Earphone Jack is a 3 of.
Yes.
Can I cut it to 2?
Yeah.
You're playing Unwavering
Yes,
Clash.
sir.
You're going to go find it.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. You will have this card, I promise. Ready to go is a 3 of, and I want to put double plus ultra in. Do you want plus ultra?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna put double plus ultra in. I can't believe I didn't snag them. I'm so sorry. We'll just slam them right into the main board, huh? Like I said, the only way that I ever die to Jiro is not because her moves are good, but because her moves are big. And this card makes her speed exceptional, and she already makes things fast, or she just takes this dumb fucking throw, and makes it 1,000 damage. How annoying. And you get to play it for free, right? Like you go Electric Jolt into Pummel, into Zero Gravity Lift on a 5, right? So on a 4, on a 5, on a 5, on a 5.
Yep.
Cool. You won the whole game. There's just nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do. It's so good. Now where we do get to mess around with some stuff is our foundations. I don't think I missed any foundations. Let me just go double check. I'm gonna go double check through the foundations because I didn't add any foundations to our sideboard. You might have just like been playing 1s and 2s of all of them. Yeah, let me go grab a couple.
Okay.
Do you own a sports festival stadium?
No, but I believe I have a friend who has one that I can use.
Okay, we'll talk about it then.
I saw that one as an ass, and I was really intrigued by it, but I wasn't really sure how exactly it would work into Jiro.
I think it'll work great because you have Unwavering Slash, and you get to just slam it in.
Yep.
And then if they build their asset, you can just play another Unwavering Slash and just slam it in.
Yep.
Oh, real messed up.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, Unwavering's a really nice card. Because rather that, like Unwavering and Home Run are my 2 kill cards in this deck.
Right. Triple checking everything, just making sure I've dotted my I's and crossed my T's. Okay, all right, we're back. I'm so sorry. All right, so first and foremost, Teaki Fanatic. This card is neat. I think it's really good and important in air decks because you are the beatdown, and so anything that says that my opponent doesn't get to actually defend themselves, things like negating their walklings, things like
that's true.
stopping the speed resets, the damage resets. Teaki Fanatic is just exceptionally good at that. It's just super good at just saying no to your opponent.
And technically, if they released, could Teaki Fanatic got released too?
Yeah, you could totally stop the release.
And then they destroy Foundation for nothing.
Correct. Confused, great card, very good. Insane that it's not being played in here. It says that it at the lowest, it's throw hate, right? You remove your opponent's throw, it loses the throw keyword, it can't gain keywords, and you stop them. Or at the very highest, you like start taking away these niche keywords, right? Like you're playing against I'll just use the example of like Bakugo, right? Like you play against Bakugo 1 and you take away the Fury keyword off of his card, and now you're allowed to block his move. He can't kick it.
Same Bakugo 2, you can't do the +2.
Correct.
Speed.
He doesn't get to like play the game. So like Confused is like a mandatory 2 of at the very minimum, and you probably should be playing more. Shard Treatment I think is really good, but I played it in Ochako as opposed to Jiro. I think selectively committing things is just like nuts. It's just like super good. And if you have the momentum to spare, which you probably will, it's great. Encouraging Training Partner is really good versus these very fast, speedy decks. Like imagine how good Encouraging Training Partner is versus your own Home Run Comet, right? You play Home Run Comet as like your 3rd move, and then you're like, actually it's just 4 speed. Sorry about it. This card's really good. It probably deserves at least a slot in your sideboard. Observant Student is just more copies of Destined for Mainstream Success without the draw. You just get to look and see what is on top to plan out the rest of your turn. So you've got Jiro combined with Destined, combined with Observant Student. You should know every check in your entire deck, which means that you have perfect information, which means that you can just find the perfect lines, which is part of the reason why I think this character is so exceptionally good. If you've got somebody who's really good at cracking dual puzzles of like, I have all the perfect information, I now get to play the game to the best of my ability, you have somebody who's gonna be great with Jiro. Sports Festival Stadium, I don't know if you need this card, but Breaker is very good against Jiro, and so like at the very minimum, it could exist in your sideboard, and you could like just take out an Earphone Jack, you could take out an action for this card and feel fine. I know that I like this card a lot, and I think this card is exceptionally good, but its big downside of my opponent's attacks to do more damage, it's very hard for me to defend myself. And so if their attacks get a little juicier and they get that +1 bonus damage on everything that they do, it might end up killing you. So who knows? Yeah. With that said, though, I do want to talk a little bit about some of the choices that we've made inside of your deck here, right? Infinite Potential. What's going on with this card? Sell me on it.
So I believe if you go down to the stats, I believe, I think I have a lot of high blocks. Yeah. So like my issue was like the mids were kind of slacking and the lows. So I was like, what can I do to maybe make it a little bit easier for me blocking? And that was, I thought, putting Infinite Potential, which again, before I thought of some of the foundations you put out there to kind of maybe swap some of them with.
Sure.
So that way maybe raises those stat numbers up a little bit. That was kind of the big reason. So I knew I had a lot of high blocks. So I feel like probably should put a 4 of those in there.
So my next question, what's up with this number? Besides being hilarious, can I cut this down at all?
That was not intentional. Yeah, you can get down. Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way because I know 69 is a lot of cards.
It is a ton, to the point where we're just going to cut for Infinite Potential.
Okay.
That card is not very good. let us continue. Our goal is to get this as close to 60 or under 60 as possible, but keep our 22 attack lineup. Oh,
yep.
I don't need to translate anything, because our goal is to be as aggressive as possible, and because we've got +2 to our check, we should be killing our opponent. We should absolutely just kill them. Small and Limber. What's going on with this guy?
So I really like this card against. So like this is kind of one of my stun hate cards that I'm able to like just if they stun, commit to, and then I just do release, destroy a card, and then ready these back up.
Love it.
So like if I have a committed, flipped or committed foundation, I can destroy that foundation and put it out, and then re-ready these guys out.
That's very cool. That's very, very cool. And you like that better than requesting assistance?
So I like requesting assistance a lot. I just think that I just like the small numbers buff where I can buff my attacks, give my attacks essentially +2/+2, and even if I'm not blocking, I can still use release as enhanced to re-ready these things up for later.
Right.
Even though I don't get the benefit of the block check, like I can go into deadlock or something and then destroy a foundation, so that way I don't have to worry about deadlock.
Sure. Wealthy Aspirations.
I use this one to this one I think is one of the ones that if anything I'd probably cut this one down. The big reason why, yes, it's a good momentum builder in a way. But I mainly been using it for Electric Jolt.
Sure.
To be able to like commit people out, like basically on their attack turn, I will use Electric Jolt, commit a foundation that I don't like, or if I'm attacking, like for instance, I was playing a Bakugo 2 earlier, and he had his he was playing on Earth, and he had 2 high value targets, and so I just would use that to commit his high value targets, so he couldn't get to his blocks.
I love that. So I'm gonna cut you off. If we're doing that, then I want to cut this card altogether. It's gone, and let's just put in Shock Treatment at the 1 of. It brings our count down. It brings our mid blocks up a little bit higher. We did lose some low blocks. That's okay. But now Shock Treatment says we flip the Jolt, target commit a thing. We discard the Jolt for Shock Treatment, or we destroy it and then just like target commit their thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it does the exact same job, but like now it's reusable as opposed to remove. And it's instead of removing the foundation, I can just discard a momentum to do the same thing.
Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah.
And also like I can enhance destroy to commit one of their foundations and then ready it up with small numbers and feel great. Charged Up. How do you feel about that one?
So this one was kind of like a person. After a little while playing, I was like, let's see how this card kind of works with this deck a little bit, because again, all my attacks are charged. So I essentially get to add 1 card from my discard pile to my is it momentum correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I guess what I'm doing. So it basically to stack the momentum a little bit, being able to use some of my powerfuls and things that were in the deck and allow them to maybe make them a little bit stronger, make them more tempting to block, or make them harder to block.
Yeah, my personal opinion is I want to cut it. I want to cut it all together just to get my deck count a little lower. Yeah. I think 62 might be the lowest. 62, 61 might be the lowest we go, and then I want to cut Ready Set Go down to a 2 of.
Okay.
You're gonna be drawing some very heavy attack heavy hands, but because of things like Pummel, actually to the point where I think I'm gonna actually put this back to 3. This is gonna go back up to 4. Let's just let it rock, you know. Let's just let it rock. And then my last thing is Arrogant Disposition. I think you only need this at a 3 of, and that's going to put us to 60 even. 17, 20. These are fine numbers. I don't think that you need 4 of this card, because of the fact that you get to stack it with home specialized sound or specialized sound waves. It's great. It's super, super good. If we were to do anything, I would take Release and toss it up to a 3 of, and then let that rock. It makes us a little low on our low blocks, but that is okay. If we do feel like we're losing low blocks, I would toss in like a double, if not triple Observant Student, because it's a 1/5/1 low block. And that would bring us to 64 cards if we tossed in 3 of these bad boys.
That'd be fine. 64 would be fine.
And so
again,
64, 22 attacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
All in all, I think this deck looks good. I think it is a good looking deck. Personal choices, I would probably take the Walklings out of the main board and stuff them in the sideboard, and then play something along the lines of the Confused in the main board, because I think it's more interesting than Walkling. It's also a 5 check, not a 4 check, and Walkling is only good versus the throw or off symboled or whatever, whereas this is like a thing, but that's just like a thing that you'll have to test out as you're playing the game. Which of these you like. 24, 20, 20. Yeah. Good block ratios.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, besides that, I mean, we didn't talk about first impressions, but this card's really silly with 0 gravity lift. Like, if you thought this card was good before, it's insane now, because you just give this thing plus 3 damage, and then it has to get blocked because you're not allowed to just, like, take 10 damage from first impressions. You're just not allowed to, so it gets blocked. So you'll take 5.
Plus 3, you're getting, like, plus whatever due to your character.
And now double jab pummel or pillar swing is going to be insane because of first day of class, right? Because this is going to get an extra 3 speed and an extra 2/2 from whatever. So it's another 10 damage move with stun 2. Yeah, this card's great to the point where, like, if I was like just trying to murder people with a 50 card Jiro list, I would play this at a 4 of. I think this is like the only character that really gets to like fuck around with this card really hardcore.
Yep.
Yeah.
I definitely like that card. No, that card, like, that was one of my cards. Was like, this card is so fun on this character.
It is very fun in Jiro. I agree. But is there anything in here that you disagree with? Anything that you vehemently don't like about the changes that I made?
No, I get why the arrogant disposition. That was at first I was questioning it, but after you said, like, oh, because I'm just able to stack it anyway, it doesn't really matter. Because I mainly review arrogant. If I have that in my hand, I'm just reviewing it to put in this card.
Correct. Yeah. You only need one over there.
Unless I'm facing punch. Yeah, unless I'm playing a punch deck, like a heavy punch deck, that I may have that, like, one of them in my main board on my stage.
Right.
Just to kind of allow me to work around their punches, but otherwise,
it's just icing on the cake if you're fighting a punch deck. It really is all it is.
Yep. Otherwise, I just get rid of it. I'm like, okay, let's see what I can do. Let's just get those checks in there. So when I play my specialized, I can actually use these the way I want to use them.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah. Otherwise, overall, I think everything makes sense that you changed. I would say I like the shock treatment a lot more now that you kind of mentioned all that stuff compared to the other card even had in there at this moment.
Wealthy Aspirations. Yeah, it was just doing shock treatment's job, right?
Yeah.
But the only difference is it was a low block.
More expensive.
Yeah.
It's expensive. Like, you flipping it for, and this one you're just destroying momentum for it, or the card itself. So,
yeah.
No, yeah. I think everything makes sense what you did.
All right, man. We'll stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list, and and thank you again for the support over on Patreon.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll catch you, okay?
Yep. Catch you later.
Peace.